Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos.
Day, homie.
Make way for Flaco Jimenez, Mingo Saldívar, Pete Ibarra, David Farias, and David Lee.
Court it. Court it. Court it.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little crazy with those air horns there. It's a Recon Athlete, episode 77. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez on the line. Shout out to Snoop Daniel. Zach Lucetto joined us a little bit later. Paul, what's up, man? You doing all right, man?
Stop scared. You knew that aguacate, bro.
You like it, dude? Dude,
that's hilarious.
Dude, okay, so we played that before, shout out to Cholo Fit, you check that out on YouTube, man. Dude's hilarious. Now I got a Costco membership the other day, man. Don't ask me why. I just got bored, I think,
I'm proud of you, Chris. I'm proud of you.
So I got a Costco membership, right? And I went in there and got the membership, and I was just kind of walking around, and they had a bunch of avocados, and like they got a big old bag of them. Like so you can get like six of them or 7 of them, something like that, for like $6, and they're pretty good size, they're good. They just weren't ripe, you know what I'm saying? Like every single one of them was green like this, So it just reminded me of the Cholo Fit that we played before. So I wanted to play that again. And what's up?
Well, here's a pro tip. The smart thing to do would be to buy those avocados like you did, but then go to the refrigerated section, and they have guacamole like pre-made that's in like individual servings that's like pre-measured and everything. So, you can have it now, and then you can make it later.
Okay.
Pro tip,
Pro tip. All right. Yeah, and I got one. There's one guy that's chilling in the back. One aguacate he's about ready tomorrow. We'll get him ready for. I think he'll be ready for tomorrow. So. Maybe I can get some avocado toast like Rebecca and Cindy in Orange County. We'll hook it up.
In the pinta?
Nah.
Oh my God, bro.
Nah, bro. Recon Athlete, episode 77. We're gonna talk some Major League Baseball, Diamonds in the Sky. They're trying real hard. To get on the field. EPL. They're trying English Premier League. They're trying to get on the pitch as well. Shout out to BJ. He says, "Oh no, we're talking about baseball." Yeah, question mark. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little about baseball. We're just trying to get some, trying to get some sports on TV. We did get some sports. The UFC on last Saturday. Me and Snoop checked that out. Paul, you watched it too. There's some UFC going on right now as well. So
yes,
Dana White is, providing us with some sports entertainment. There's also one coming up on Saturday as well. Also, there's some NASCAR on Sunday as well. Shout out to Rodney Rodriguez. I know he does some NASCAR stuff. He's a fan of Recon Athlete. So shout him out. Maybe I'll try to hit him up. Maybe we can get him on Saturday. Talk some NASCAR.
Yeah.
We'll see what's up.
Yes.
Yeah. So BJ says Super Rugby is starting back up this week. Is that different than regular rugby, BJ?
I don't.
Super Rugby? I don't know. We'll see. And then what else did I put on here? What else are we going to talk about? I didn't even. What else? What else? So we got the baseball, the EPL, and Tua. He's getting like $11 million.
Bro, he's getting over $11.5 million by the end of the month.
That's crazy, man.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, that's just nuts, man. That is just absolutely nuts. And other topics as assigned as well. Phone's going off. Amber alert. At a Van Zant County, Texas. If y'all see Willow Sermons, 14-year-old white female, check. Make sure everybody's check local media. All right, Amber alert. Everybody's phone's about to go off.
Hello.
Shout out Veronica Croner. What's up? What's up, V? She gives me a little wave. All right, what are we going to start? We'll start Major League Baseball, Paul, because BJ seems so excited about it. And if you hear something in the background, it's our washer.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, you don't hear anything. Shout out to Snoop Daniel for starting a load of laundry right before we started our podcast. It's all good, dude. You don't have to worry about it. Nah, dude.
No. Don't stop it.
Don't stop it.
Leave it
Don't
alone.
stop it. No, we can't even hear it. We can't hear it. We can't hear it. I said
Can't hear it.
I was just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, homie. I'm just messing with you. Shout out to Melanie Malonson Boutwell. She's getting onto the watch party as well. All right, Major League Baseball. They're trying to get back on the field. Paul, I don't know if did you read the big article about what was going on here, or
yeah. So apparently they were supposed to propose this deal to the players. The owners were going to present to the players, and it basically just outlined how the season would move forward. And of course, there was no resolution because they couldn't agree on the terms that were outlined between the two. So apparently, I think it was an 82-game season.
Yep.
There's going to be a universal DH. There's going to be a 14-team playoff.
Mm-hmm. And
the other big news was going to be like a 50-50 revenue split. And I think that's kind of the biggest contention between the two sides right now. But for me, I really don't understand if this deal doesn't move forward, what happens? Is there like a previous agreement that's already in stone that they're going to move forward with? Will the players even go show up to play? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, what is this proposal supposed to change?
Yeah.
Because I need some help understanding what the change is going to be.
Well, I mean, I think, a lot of it has to do, I mean, most of it has to do with that 50-50 split,
Right.
And that has to do with, because basically they're, doing the math from the article that I saw on ESPN. I wish I could pull it up so I could give the author some credit here. But he got into it, and basically, he got into the revenues from the fans not being there, the revenues from from the TV not having as much TV because you're going from 160 games to basically 80 games, and just all kinds of different aspects of it. And I mean, pretty much it kind of boils down to, if they play it, if they don't play, what are the players going to get? And then if they do play, what are the players going to get? I think, and I've said this before, Paul, mm-hmm. I don't care what these players, are getting. Now I realize, I'm not cold-hearted. I realize mm-hmm. that, a lot of these players, they're probably living check to check, but, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I mean, that is because of the decisions that they've made with their money. Okay. Now, if you're living check to check, making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, then you need to check yourself. Okay. Now I understand living check to check, making, less than 100, making less than what these guys are making. Okay. So I think we all think that, that the players need to get out there on the field, but sorry, Snoop got me on something else, but so it's hard for me to have any empathy for either side right now. Like I said before, you got billionaires and millionaires fighting over who gets paid, more money. What we need right now is, sports. I think something else that came up, Paul, was the time away from family, like being in bubbles. Yeah, I don't know. You can't really. I mean, go ahead. Sorry, Paul.
I want to take this in a different direction.
Okay.
I think a lot of people get caught up into the revenue share.
Okay.
And that's like the contentious part of this, the polarizing theme in this whole discussion. And I think the only people allowed to be selfish right now are the fans, and I think those are the people who are missing out the most. And I think that's why there's no empathy towards these billionaires and millionaires about how much money they're going to split up. Because right now, like you said, we just need the sports on television. And I really don't understand why it has to be this murky. And the only thing I can think of is the reason it is this murky is because there is not a cap on the Major League Baseball. And because there's no cap, there's going to be so much the money disparity between the clubs are going to be so huge. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand is like the reason this is not happening is because of that part. But for the fans, they should really be demanding that people get on the field and play the game so that, the lay people, the people who work and who are taxed the highest can go enjoy a little bit of escape from this crazy world we're living in right now. And I think I would really hope that the players and the owners can put down their lawyers in so many words so that we can just have a little bit of escape, because that's what sports is. It's our comfort zone. It's our safe place. It's where everybody's equal whenever you go out to compete and watch a sporting event. And I really hope that that's something that these owners can really find inside of them, as well as the players, and say, look, I understand you have bills to pay, but if you don't have the money, you can talk to your agent. If you don't have the money, I'm pretty sure you could take advantage of these really great interest rates that the Fed and banks are giving out right now. So just suck it up for 82 games. And if that has to be for 4 or 5 months, okay, so be it. But at the end of the day, I think right now it's the people who are, unemployed. It's the people who are essential, exposing themselves day in, day out, to demand a little bit of these players and owners just sucking it up a little bit and going to do, what the fans have given so much money to these two small groups of people to do.
Okay, so so basically what it is, the Players Association, they agreed to prorated, contracts. So basically they're going to get paid for half a season. So if somebody makes, to make it easy, somebody makes $1 million, they're going to make $500,000. They make $10 million, they're going to make $5 million. Now, I think what the problem is for the players is that the owners are coming back and saying, "Oh, well, you've agreed to a prorated salary, but now we're looking at the numbers again. We're not going to have fans. We're not going to have this. We're not going to have that. So now we want to do a 50-50 split." So basically, the owners are, turning it again and trying to, make this about them, and it's like if the players have already agreed to something and the owners are trying to go out there and kind of change it up a little bit. Again, I don't think anybody really cares about billionaires and millionaires fighting over money. I certainly it's hard for me to be empathetic. I can be. I understand. It's their livelihood. But the players, if you have to take sides, and the players are going to be out there playing, owners are going to be sitting at home. It's hard for me to really get into the money fight between the players and the owners. So, and if they can't figure it out, then you know what? Go ahead, just scrap the season. Just scrap the season.
We'll watch Korean baseball and Taiwanese baseball,
because, and I'm glad I'm getting to use this word, because Major League Baseball, you are fungible right now. Okay, you are fungible, meaning you can be replaced. You can be replaced by the NBA. You can be replaced by NASCAR. You can be replaced by MMA. You can be replaced by Europe, EPL, English Premier League. You can be replaced by Korean baseball. We're wanting baseball to happen, but we don't have baseball right now. So nothing's going to change for us if they don't come back. Our lives aren't going to change, from what we've already experienced the past 2 months without having baseball. Our lives aren't going to change at all. So get back on the field and make some money and figure it out, or don't get back on the field and make no money. Basically where you're at. So figure it out, get back on the field. My fantasy team will actually be relevant. Actually, I got a pretty good fantasy team. There's only 10 teams in that league, but that's besides the point. Get back on the field and, get out there. Golf is trying to start back up. It's like I said, NASCAR is starting back up Sunday. We've got UFC going on right now. We had UFC 249 happen. Snoop's all of a sudden a big UFC fan. You got people, clamoring and just wanting this sports, so if you put it out there, you're going to get a pretty big market share. If you put it out there, I mean, you're going to get the market share, the whole market share. I mean, even guys like BJ might watch baseball. I doubt it, but yeah, shout out BJ. He says millionaires fighting with billionaires. He says, what is this, Congress? So shout out BJ. Yeah, millionaires, billionaires, whatever. Y'all figure it out. Get back on the field. I'll go play major league. I'll go play baseball in front of people. It'll be kind of ugly, but you can pay me. Say I'll take 100,000. Take 100,000 for 82 games. Think that'd be pretty good. Paul, would you take that?
Sure, I'll be a DH for 82 games for 100K. Easy.
All right, English Premier League is also trying to get out there on the pitch. Put the old put the bowl in the back of the onion basket.
Oh my goodness!
So what's going on in English Premier League, Paul?
Man, I didn't know I was driving the bus today. So apparently,
you gave us the topic. So just
bro,
set me up.
I gave you the topic. That's right. Usually the roles are reversed. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay, my bad.
So anyways, UK gave the EPL the green light to go ahead and get started with, I believe, a June 1st kickoff. So I think that's going to allow people to get training started, meetings to start occurring, to get the ball rolling. But to me, what I've really seen this week, because I remember that fateful week in March when the sports world collapsed, this week, the week of May 10th, seems to be the dawn of the rebirth of sports globally. And we're having more and more news. UFC is coming out. Baseball is having more talks. Soccer, starting to pick up in the best league worldwide that a lot of people probably argue about. And for me, I think that's just a great sign, because we know how ravished parts of Europe were during COVID, and with EPL starting, I also put out some information that Serie A, the Italian soccer league, is starting to ramp back up. This is, I think, the best news that can come out for world sports, for soccer and for American sports, with the governments, sovereign governments giving sports leagues the okay to begin to operate. And I just thought that was a really big sign. And do you think that will really trickle down to the United States? Do you think that the two governments, the British government or the United Kingdom and their different governments blending in with the United States government to get this ball rolling is showing signs of us coming out of this COVID-19? Do you think that's fair to say?
I mean, I think it is fair to say. I think it's what's going to be hard is for all the parties that are involved to come together and do this in a way that everybody feels safe. Now, I mean, if the government is able to, the governments are able to facilitate and help these leagues do this, yeah, I mean, I think it'd give a lot of hope for everybody out there. A lot of people aren't willing to go out outside right now. People aren't, there's restaurants that are open. People aren't willing to go. But to me, I think it does kind of open up the window for the rest of the world. If we can get these sports leagues like the English Premier League, like Major League Baseball, like NBA, if we can get those things going, it could maybe be a start of getting back to normal. Now the issue is, and the hesitancy, and what everybody's scared of is a breakout of COVID-19. You have that outbreak, thing going on. Dustin Hoffman and Rene Russo were running around trying to save people. Now, I understand that, but I think on stateside, I think the Major League Baseball players they're starting to come around and starting to say, you know what, there's going to be an inherent risk. So I don't know and it kind of depends on the culture, like you over in the UK and especially English Premier League, you not only have Americans, but you don't only have, you don't have English players, but you have players from around the world. Now you say that, for Major League Baseball as well, but I think culturally it might be a little bit different over here in the United States, and the players might be a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, more confident to go out and really take on the risk than they might be over in Europe. It could be, but I think it would take, the governments to kind of get involved and to help out. And I think it would, really, really be something that would kind of galvanize the countries. If the UK, if the English Premier League could start up, and if Major League Baseball or the NBA can start up, I think it would be a huge thing. But you have to get the players involved. I think right now what's hindering the start of the English Premier League is that the players don't want to go out there and play because they're not ready. They don't think that the conditions are safe. Fair enough. I get it. If you don't feel like you don't feel safe, then you don't go out. Okay. Nobody's forcing them to go out. Now, if they want to make money, they might have to be forced to go out. So that's a whole different topic. So, I just think it's important that these sports start up again, but I get it if these guys don't want to play, Paul. I really do.
I don't, and I think you're wrong on that part. I don't think the players are as hesitant as you may think. And the reason I say that is because the UFC is trailblazing right now. They're the only ones who have already held an event without fans, and they've had a participant test positive for COVID-19, all that be it asymptomatic. Now, watching that production, it was a little odd in the beginning to see it without fans, but as you saw the night progress, granted, that card, according to the experts, because I'm not one, and Snoop's probably will be one by the end of the year, is that show was so intense without fans that it was successful in my eyes because there were no other hiccups. Now, I believe that the top commissioners in all pro sports probably are going to have contingencies like the UFC did. And I have a feeling that they're going to be communicating with each other so that they can figure out what's going to occur. What is our contingency plan if one of our participants is positive for COVID-19? And I think that all the sports commissioners are thinking about sports without fans right now. I don't even think that they're entertaining that, to be extremely honest with you. I think their biggest goal is to get on the field and get on the pitch, get on the court, or get on the diamond. Because at the end of the day, they need to put their product on television for the advertising dollars. And so I really hope that players, participants aren't as concerned or scared with COVID-19. Now, they may be, but at the end of the day, I don't think that that's going to be in their mind during the competition. But, man, these people are getting paid high salaries compared to the average, individual. And so with that being the incentive, I'm sure they're going to go out. But I'm right now, I have a lot of faith in the UFC, and especially sports like football. Those participants are not scared of COVID-19. And I think that we're going to I think we're going to really see sports like the UFC, NASCAR. I mean, NASCAR is kind of difficult to talk about, but UFC, football, and maybe basketball in the fall go ahead and move on with their leagues. But nobody wants to be first in a traditional sport. I'm going to exclude the UFC because they're just a little bit of a different animal. But the traditional sports, you don't see Adam Silver coming out and launching the league. You don't see the commissioner for Major League Baseball jumping out and getting things started with the start date. You don't see, a deadline set for those two teams. And I think they're really waiting for another league to get that done. And so, that's kind of just where I differ from your point.
So, I mean, and I see what you're saying, but I think when you talk about UFC and you talk about football and the participants in those two sports, how do I say this?
Just say it.
They're alpha males, right?
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. There's not going to be an alpha. There's going to be a lot of alpha males in soccer and baseball. But it's not as those two sports aren't as aggressive. You have to have a certain mental state,
right.
mental toughness to participate in a sport like UFC or in football. And it's there's we talk about baseball and soccer. Not that those guys aren't tough. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. Soccer is a very tough sport. But there's a little bit more. There can be a little bit more finesse involved in that. Now, of course, I'm gonna BJ's on here. He's gonna start talking about rugby. So shout out rugby.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And rugby, we saw Australian rules football was like one of the last sports to keep playing right before everything had to get shut down in Australia. Those guys were out there. I'm pretty sure that they played with no fans. The Australian rules football, they have already done this. They already played with no fans before everything got shut down. They had were already out there playing. I believe one of their last games that they played was shut down at halftime. So I think I just think that the mental fortitude of the players is going to have to come around for some of these other sports other than UFC, other than football, and sports like rugby and Australian rules football. Then of course, we've got NASCAR. You don't have to be around people when you're driving a car. Golf, socially distanced. I think even, and then I haven't even heard anything about tennis. That's pretty socially distanced, don't you think?
Yep.
I haven't heard anything about that, but I think you're right. I think everybody's just kind of waiting. And I agree with you on this point, Paul. I think everybody's just waiting to see which of the major sports is going to start first. Nobody wants to make a decision. Nobody wants to be, and I keep hearing this, when I listen to talk radio, nobody wants to be liable. Libel. Nobody wants to be liable. I get it. I get that. But is that a reason not to start? That is right now the reason not to start, right, Paul?
It is.
Is that the only reason why we're not starting?
Well, it is, in my opinion, it is the reason for Major League Baseball and for the NBA. I think NBA is probably the biggest contributor for them, in my opinion, due to the fact that they were the first major sports league in the United States to experience COVID in a direct impact. One of the biggest players, Rudy Gobert, announcing it on live TV, and then live broadcast being pretty much shut down afterwards. There were games that night. We remember that Wednesday night when Rudy Gobert, it was announced he had COVID-19, and then everything, pretty much the games that had not started were canceled. Yeah. And it was circling all over the NBA, and we were seeing Mark Cuban's reaction. And I think the biggest thing for them is Adam Silver is a man who understands, the culture. He understands his product is aimed at younger individuals, and he does not want to have, I think especially in his sport where the players have all the control and the owners have, not as much as in other leagues, that kind of contrast. If a player were to get sick and potentially fatally pass away, I think that would be a huge stain on the NBA's reputation. And for him, I don't believe he's willing to take that risk as of yet. But these commissioners need to prepare as if somebody will contract COVID-19.
Right.
These somebody in the organization will contract it, and you need to have a plan in place to not only identify, test, and then diagnose, and then have a therapy in place for that individual, no matter the cost. And I think we're seeing that with the NFL. The NFL just raised all their credit limits for all their clubs by $150 million per club. That to me was a direct correlation to have cash on hand for any catastrophes. Now, that's a cumulative amount. I think it totaled, close to, it's somewhere in the billions for the league. But teams like the Dallas Cowboys, teams like, the Patriots, the teams with the large revenues, they're not going to have any issues. It's the teams on the lower end of that fiscal level or fiscal scale that are going to have trouble. And I think that's where that money comes into play. Now, I don't know if the NBA has those kind of resources available to them. I don't know about baseball. I just don't know. I know that the Yankees and the top teams have money, but the smaller clubs, I'm not so sure. And so maybe that's the fear. Maybe that's the scare of being liable, is if somebody does get sick, will there be money to treat those individuals? And I think the UFC, they have control over the money. NFL, they have control over the money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I'm just, and we saw what happened to UFC 249. They had a participant come down with COVID-19 along with his cornerman.
Yep.
And they removed him from the facilities. Everybody got tested again. Everybody was being tested, constantly.
Right.
And that's a thing too. Like, NBA and Major League Baseball, and they're going to need a lot of tests, and a lot of times they're worried about what the optics are going to be, if they're testing, because we don't have enough testing going on, locally or in the local level, statewide level, or the national level. There's not enough testing going on for the general public. I get that. I mean, I've been saying that since the beginning, since before all this stuff started happening, and we need to test people. We need to test people. We just don't have enough testing. But I mean, if these NBA, Major League Baseball, if these big sports organizations, go to a private lab, they go to somewhere where, they contract with somebody that wasn't going to make any type of test for the general public. And they pay for this stuff, and they get the test that they need. I don't see a problem with that. I know they're worried about what the optics are going to be, but if they need this, they need a certain amount of tests. I mean, UFC's doing it, they're doing it, and I don't see a whole lot of blowback for Dana White, and shout out to BJ. He says UFC can start much easier than other sports because there's far less people involved. Yeah, sure. I get that. But, we're obviously ramping up the manufacturing of tests. So if we can get enough tests, if we can get all these people, in place and what they're supposed to be doing, then we can get this sport started. I mean,
and Chris,
go ahead.
Here's another thing. What's there not to say that if the NFL or whatever venue you go to they're going to test fans if fans want to go in. This would be that organization providing public health services to individuals. Maybe you didn't know you were sick and you go buy tickets to a sporting event and they identify you as having some kind of symptoms and send you home. They potentially could have saved your life. That's a positive PR spin. And I think if you do, like you said, contract with a private lab, garner X amount of tests per week, and you know they're gonna test their athletes every single day,
every day,
their personnel every single day. Why not buy extra? And when you start admitting fans, you perform those services free of charge, probably built into your ticket price, but free of charge up front or on the back end rather, and you provide that health screening service, you know, as a goodwill to your fans. I think that would be a positive spin. You know, I really hope that kind of comes into play. And Chris, we have to assume that there are smarter people than you and I discussing these types of measures at the highest levels of these billion-dollar organizations.
Right, and I mean, I would hope so. You know, I mean, and
if not,
go ahead.
If not, we can use a job.
I know you're right.
If not, hey.
And also, can we pull the political, you know, side out of this? You know, like let's not try to be political about this. You know, we're just trying to get sports going. You know, not a Republican, not a Democrat. Me, I just, you know, I'm all over the place. Shout out to Ron DeSantis, you know, Republican governor of Florida. He says, he's like, hey, my state's open to pro sports teams. Bring them back, bring them over here. He's like, if you can't play sports in your state, bring them over to Florida. You know, we'll host them here. And that's what, you know, that's where UFC 249 was in Jacksonville.
Tonight.
And tonight. Yeah. And tonight it's in Florida. WWE. It's in Florida. You know, now there might be a big old outbreak, you know, I don't know.
There hasn't been so far,
but you know, he's trying, you know, the guy's trying, you know, he's trying to open it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this, right. I mean, he's trying to get go ahead.
Yeah. The governor of Arizona made the same statement. I think over the past few days, his state is open for major, and he even said the words major league sports. And to me, that was a direct shot at the Diamondbacks. Like, we're ready. If y'all want to have your 82 game season in the bubble, Arizona's ready to have you.
Yep. Because you know what? This is America, Paul, and people can make their own decisions. Right.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. We need to take the politics stuff out of this. It's right now. It's about positivity and it's about uplifting and being optimistic. We had our doom and gloom. It's time to get things, you know, in a place where everybody is safe, they're happy, and we can all start moving forward and moving on with our lives. I mean, I think it's time.
For what? Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
I thought this was America, Paul. People getting arrested. People getting arrested for, you know, for going out and opening their businesses, you know, and, you know, people, I'm just sorry. I mean, like, and I'm not trying to be, you know, I guess, you know, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Like if you're concerned about COVID-19,
when a mother can't take her child, when a mother can't take her child to the park, Chris,
yeah,
when she can't take her child to the park, what's going on? I mean, what's going on? Right. I'm just curious. When Tom Brady gets kicked out of a park for working out, he's just trying to cheat a little bit harder for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep. So
I thought this was America. That was great.
Recon Athlete episode 77. I always forgot. We've done so many. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over in the green room. Shout out to everybody on our watch party right now. BJ's hanging out. Is Veronica still on there? Yeah, she's still on there. She's asking if we So do y'all broadcast somewhere else? No, not yet. We need to up our game. I was just thinking about that, Paul. You texted me earlier about the Zoom and all that stuff. I need to get this. We need to get on more.
Chris, I've texted you about a lot of things.
When? Today?
No, over the past 6 months, but that's for another day.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of work that has to go into that. Man, I don't like working, Paul. Golly.
Well, we can hire somebody, but that's not good either.
All right, Recon Athlete, episode 77. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez. All right, Tua Tagovailoa has agreed to terms on a 4-year, $30.28 million deal. Includes a 5th-year option. And let's see. Trying to read here on SportsIllustrated.com, and I got some stuff going on. What's the deets, as we used to say back in 2010? On this
so that contract, he's going to get a $19.5 million signing bonus. He actually negotiated this contract to be like front loaded as much as he could, and I think really that's just due to the fact that he had some injuries at the end of his collegiate career. But he is getting, per Ian Rappaport is reporting that he's getting $11.47 million by the end of this month of May 2020. So with that being said, Emo, your quarterback, who's going to wear number 1, is probably going to be starting week, whatever the NFL week they start off, because if you're going to pay a quarterback nearly $12 million in 1 month, yeah, he's probably going to need to go earn that money and put some seats in the stands if they allow it at that time. But $30.5 million, 4-year contract with a 5th-year option, $19.5 million as signing bonus. He's going to get 11.5 of that in 30 days, less than 30 days. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa winning.
Who's his agent?
Bro, I think he signed with Creative Artists, and so that's the same agency that Dak Prescott has.
Okay.
I think they have different. That's the same agency, but a different agent. And apparently, CAA, that's the Creative Artists, whatever agency, I think. They're like the top of the top of the top. And I mean, those guys obviously do great work because Tua bought his mom an Escalade over the weekend. Yeah. He's going to sign, a brand new Cadillac Escalade. And then he's going to get this contract deal just done, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. I mean, things are looking up for the Miami Dolphins, but Tua is securing the bag, getting the bag, has the bag, with him inking that deal with the Dolphins.
Is he going to be worth that money, Paul? Yes or no?
I think he's gonna be worth the $19.5 million. But he's gonna need some more weapons if he's gonna really make that full 30. Because if he doesn't get any protection, Larry Tunsil got shipped last year to Houston. I don't really know who their left tackle is. That's not a good sign. Devontae Parker, really only weapon. I really don't know who their running back's gonna be. But if Tua can have a solid tight end, I think he'll be okay. I think the defense is going to be really great for the Dolphins. But that AFC North, man, you have such good quarterbacks outside of New England. I mean, good luck, man. I just don't know if he could do well in year one. He's going to need another draft or get some big-time free agents in there to help him out because he has no offensive firepower.
He might not have any of that, but he's got he'll have $11.5 million here at the end of the month. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would have done that if I were the Dolphins, but I mean, whatever.
I think they went with a smaller amount.
Yeah.
Right now it's all there's tiers. Like with that new CBA, depending on where you get drafted, what a pick you have a certain, depending on your position. You have a range of income. And I think what they did was because Tua wanted a front-loaded contract, like you wanted a lot of money up front, they said, okay, cool, we'll give you a lot of money up front, but we're going to give you over half of it as a signing bonus. And so their per year cap hit is going to be like, I think less than 10 million or less than 7 million per year. So they're not going to really take a big hit after this year.
Yeah. And they do have BJ's throwing his NFL knowledge. They have a Gesicki or whatever. He says they have a good tight end that they spend a high pick on.
A dashiki?
Gesicki, I don't know.
But
this is funny because the one time that Emo's not on the watch party, and we're talking about the Dolphins, because we're always talking about something else, and Emo's out there. He's like, Dolphins, man, Dolphins, go Dolphins. Sorry, bro. We'll see what's up. Snoop says Jordan Howard. Is that what you were telling me, Snoop? Jordan Howard? Yeah. Okay. He said, You don't want to talk about it. Oh, okay. Where were? All right.
What?
Nothing. Sorry. Recon Athlete episode 77. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez. Shout out to. Oh yeah, they do have Matt Breida. I forgot about that. Shout out to Snoop for that info. I don't know what happened to Zach. He didn't even come on the watch party.
He said he was busy.
What is he doing?
That's what he said, man. He said he was busy. I can't.
I mean, we're in quarantine.
Quarantine.
Like,
he plays volleyball.
He's playing volleyball right now.
I said he plays volleyball. I didn't say he is playing volleyball.
All right. Shout out to the UFC. It's going on right now. UFC Fight Night's happening on ESPN Plus. Looks like Andrei Arlovsky and Philippe Lins are fighting right now. Yeah, ESPN Plus. Why don't you throw it on over there, Snoop? You put it on the TV. Put it on the tele. And I put the kettle on. I don't know why I'm talking like that.
Yeah, please stop. I'm like, what is going on over there?
Other topics as assigned, Paul. You got anything else for us before we? I guess I was hoping Zach would come up with some more Zach's corner, but
that's all good. I want to give some shout outs real quick. Little recon athlete recap for recruiting high school level.
Oh, word up.
Yeah. So Westlake offensive lineman Aiden Kinnaird, he got a big offer from Bryant University this past week, so that was really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to save the biggest one for the end, but Louisiana College, D3 school, of course, out of, like I said, Louisiana, came in and basically just took the Black Rain defense and a slot receiver to their side. So shout out to Gunnar Absek picking up an offer from Louisiana College, as well as his teammate Javion Mays, outside linebacker for the Cedar Park. And then Shelby Battles and also Logan Shaw, pretty much the entire linebacking core got offered by the Louisiana Wildcats at Louisiana College. And then the biggest offer from this past week, 4-star in some books, 5-star in my book, receiver at Adele Valley, Caleb Burton, big-time offer from Michigan. So Jim Harbaugh in the ATX giving out offers. His running mate, Tavier Dunlap, got an offer from Michigan last week. So looks like Michigan trying to double dip here in the Lone Star State.
It's always interesting when you see that. You see a just kind of a random school. I mean, I know Ohio State recruits this area. I don't see a whole lot of Michigan. I wonder if they're like say looking at what Ohio State's getting and they're like, I don't know. What are you seeing, Paul?
Well, they're probably jockeying off of Ohio State exactly because they saw Garrett Wilson is going to be the biggest receiver in the Big Ten last year. 2 years removed from Lake Travis High School. Mm-hmm. Last year he played not only in the national championship game or in the semifinals and the college football playoff, but Garrett Wilson pretty much was a big-time recruit coming out of Lake Travis, and I think that they see the next big athlete similar to Garrett Wilson and Caleb Burton, who Snoop identified years ago, and I've been big hammering on Caleb Burton to be that next type of Garrett Wilson style. 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, 170, 175. Probably puts on another 10 pounds in college, and can catch everything in the gym, on the field, You know, he can catch everything. And so they said, let's go try to get this guy out of Texas. I really doubt that, you know, he'll entertain that Michigan offer. But, I mean, like I said, it's on the board. We'll see what happens in the future. But Caleb Burton growing offers by the week.
Yeah. And Tavier Dunlap getting one too. And those they're both just amazing athletes. I think I got to see them against Westlake last year, and it was they both definitely made a lot of big plays against. Of course, you know, Westlake won the game ultimately, but
right.
Those two definitely making a lot of plays for the Cardinals, and it's exciting for them to be getting such great you know, offers, and you know, yeah, they're just kind of rolling in week after week. All right, Recon Athlete episode 77. Paul, you got anything else as far as recruiting goes? Any other news you want to drop before we sign off here?
Landon Watson dropped his top 6.
Oh, okay.
If you give me, Landon Watson, a big time. He was an LSU commit until he decommitted, 4-star defensive end out of Hutto. I mean, he's been on some teams that have been, you know, perennial in the Austin area. But I think that for him, he really wanted to take a little bit more of a look around, you know, over the nation before he made a commitment. I know right now he's very high on Virginia Tech, but it looks like his top 6 are Virginia Tech. This is in no order, you know, no bias. This is just the order they came in. Virginia Tech, Cal, Tennessee, TCU, Arkansas, and the Arizona State Sun Devils. And if anybody is saying, how come I've heard that name TCU? That is because the 5-star running back, Zach Evans out of North Shore, recently committed, filed financial aid paperwork, and is attending classes at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth as we speak.
Yeah.
Big time lockup right there.
Yeah, it's big for Gary Patterson.
First ever 5-star recruit. First ever.
So, I mean, I mean,
it's going to sway the recruiting landscape. It is already swaying the recruiting landscape.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just wondering if he's gonna get his act together.
What are you talking about, Chris?
I mean, I don't know.
Just because he didn't want to give up his phone the night before a football game. I mean, just because he decommitted from Georgia and they let him out of his national letter of intent.
I don't care about that.
It seems to me, based off what I've seen, is that Zach Evans was immature and believed his own digital press clippings for a time.
Yeah.
And when he got his humble pie, and I'm sure when his family got him a loan and he had to decide what he wanted to do with his future, I think it was real humble of the young man to take what he took to go to TCU, a team that only had LaDainian Tomlinson as the biggest running back come out of there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had a conversation while he was on campus one time or another between him, Zach Evans, and LaDainian Tomlinson. So maybe there's a mentor there. Maybe there's some people in his life that are helping him out with some challenges he's experienced. But I'm going to give an 18-year-old 5-star recruit the benefit of the doubt. That's just me.
All right. Hold on. Speaking of Zach's getting their act together, Zach Luceto. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
What are you doing, bro?
Did you just like wait until like 8:55 to call in? Because that's what it seems like.
No, I told you I was gonna be late. My dad is replacing the fence in our backyard.
Oh,
so,
for real? What happened? Did y'all get some tornadoes coming through there in Pflugerville or what?
No, the wood was just all like ugly and like termite ridden and all this stuff.
Oh, for real? I thought maybe because I know we had like some storms come through yesterday, so I don't know if that That had anything to do with it. Were you helping or are you just watching?
No, I was helping, man. I'm the young one. I got all the lifting and carrying of things.
Okay, that's what's up. Zach doing some manual labor. All right. I didn't know you were into that.
I was gonna ask if you would come help, but you had a show.
Oh, I can help tomorrow.
I think the rest of it he's just gonna be able to do.
Oh,
because we put like I don't know. Well, it's a boring conversation, but whatever. How was the show?
It was good, man. It was good. We talked some Major League Baseball stuff, a little bit of NBA, EPL, English Premier League. Everybody trying to get their league started, but nobody wants to be the first one to start. Everybody's waiting for everybody else. Everybody's waiting for somebody else to start first. That's basically what it comes down to. That's what Paul and I have come to conclude. What do you think about that, Zach?
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all, what do you think is going to give soccer more of a bump? The World Cup or coming back after Corona?
If they're the first major sport?
Because, soccer, it sounds like soccer is going to be the first sport back on TV. The first sport back playing.
You think so?
So do you think the bump they get from that will be bigger than the bump they get from the World Cup when that comes around?
Paul Rodriguez. Paul, you there? Hold on.
What are we talking about? Soccer.
Sorry, y'all. My mom's trying to call. I don't know if she's. See, he's saying, Paul. So did you hear his question, Paul? What?
Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. So his question was, what's gonna if soccer comes back first, will that have a bigger bump for the sport than a World Cup?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And why is Zach calling in asking us questions? Zach said ask some questions.
If you want to ask me questions, ask me questions. There was nothing stopping you.
Chris did ask you a question, and you evaded it with your own. Listen, I don't think that coming back from COVID is going to be more of a bump than the World Cup. Personally, there's billions who watch soccer in the World Cup, and I think that's like the biggest event viewed wise in the world. So no, I don't think coming back from COVID, nobody's going to get craps about that. The bigger bump is going to definitely come from the World Cup, no doubt.
All right. Well, I'm kind of, I guess, kind of depends on what time they're going to play, because the early games when they play English Premier League, the early games come on at 6:30. The primetime games come on at 9, and then like the late games, like a Sunday night games come on at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is all Central Time.
We have to conform for the Americans. We got to conform to their schedule.
No, the schedule.
Chris, there's 7.6 or 7 billion people outside the U.S. They don't care about us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna change their schedule, but I was just saying, some people might get up and watch that. I will, because I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to see what Chelsea does, but I'm not sure it's gonna be compelling enough for people that are non-soccer fans to get into it. I just think it's such a niche sport still. That I don't think American football fans or American baseball fans or American basketball fans will get into it, Zach. I just don't. I don't think they will. Zach?
No, yeah, I just didn't know if just because it's on, they'll get a wave of people that are just missing sport.
You could get the degenerates out there that are trying to gamble on stuff, for sure.
That's true, yeah.
For sure. Get those guys on for sure. Next question, in Zach's corner.
Are you going to the gym?
Huh?
Are you going to the gym with your face mask and gloves?
Man, shout out to La Fitness but I don't think I'm going to go back to the gym, bro. I think I'm doing fine, man. You know, working out here at home and like, you know, going on my jogs and, you know, just doing stuff here, man. Like, you know, I feel like I'm doing all right. I feel like I'm doing all right on my own. And I don't know. I think a lot of people might not go back to the gym just because they've come to find out that they don't really need it.
Or they've spent already enough money on home workout equipment that they need to get their use out of it.
Right. Yeah. You know, and I might try to get me some, you know, some dumbbells and stuff like that. And, you know, I can just save, you know, $30-$35 or whatever it is, you know. Well, for me, I mean, I don't know. I guess Planet Fitness is like what, 10, 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
I go to La Fitness, so it's a little bit more bougie. It's like $32 a month. But yeah, I can save $30 a month. You know what I'm saying? So, and
one of the gyms I train at, my trainer they announced that they're opening on Monday, and he already texted our group asking if we wanted to come back, if we were like wanted to come back starting next week. But I texted him, I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere until at least May is over.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of having to like wear a mask and gloves. So I want to try to wait till that goes away. And at least the first wave of like finding out if stuff is like good to go to again, you know?
All right. I don't know. I've been out and about a little bit, so I don't know.
Have you been to a restaurant already?
Yeah, I went to a patio. So
Was it weird?
no, I mean it was only weird because like there was nobody there, but I felt safe because there was nobody there. Like, you know, like I mean there was other people there, but like everybody was socially distanced. Like the tables were, you know, far away from each other. The waiters, it was kind of weird because you couldn't really understand what the waiter was saying because he had a mask on. You know, it's like, what did you say? And then they had gloves and I don't know. Oh man, I just wash my hands. Don't touch my face. No, you know, it's America. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to have as normal life as possible. I mean, I'm not being dumb. You know, I'm not going to big parties or anything like that. But, you know, I feel pretty safe on a patio on a sunny day. I don't know. Paul, what do you think?
I want to go to the flower shop.
I mean, I don't know. You could possibly, you know, go to the flower shop maybe. Just 6 foot distance. So.
Man, I'll be really honest with you. I believe if you're going to be in a crowd, you need to wear a mask. But if you're just going about your life and you're 5 to 10 feet away from someone, I don't think you really need a mask. It's going to be real straightforward with you.
I just got a text message.
From who?
My mom. She said, "Are you okay? I just tried to call you." Here, let me call my mom real quick. Hold on.
Oh,
Hey, Mom.
hi, mijo.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing the podcast right now. That's why I didn't answer.
Oh, I am so sorry.
No, that's
it's
okay.
Wednesday.
That's all right. How are you
Okay.
doing? How are you and Dad?
Oh, we're doing fine. You know, we are busy today. We had the plumbers come and just do a little work it's supposed to. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I was just wanted to know if you went for a drive in your car.
Yeah, I did go for a drive today in my new car.
Oh.
I haven't really tell anybody I got a new car though, because you know I'm trying to be humble about it.
Okay. And I'll call Amber and tell her not to tell nobody. I'm sorry. Well, you know what, Christopher? I thought the same thing last night.
Yeah.
You know that I shouldn't be, like that. We
That's
need to be
okay.
humble.
That's
and,
okay.
and give God all the glory. He does. He does get all the glory.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. Okay.
I understand. Okay, mijo,
Right.
but I just wanted to make sure you had gone for a drive and it was good, and I'm glad and to
Okay.
hear from you. And I'm sorry to.
That's okay. You're going to be on the podcast, so you're going to be able to hear this phone call when you watch the video.
Oh no.
Huh?
Hi. Bye.
Okay. All right. Tell Dad I said hi. Love you.
Okay. Okay. Love you too. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. All right, y'all there? All right, sorry about that. Y'all there?
I shouldn't be, like that.
Y'all there?
Listen.
Hey man, turn the TV down.
Hey man, hey, we got cut off. We got cut off, and I was trying to figure out if we were still on the show.
Oh man, I told you I had to call my mom back, man.
And I said, and we came to the conclusion. We said, I wonder if Chris knows he's still on the air with his mom.
Yeah, for
and I
sure.
said that. I'm telling you what we were talking about. Hold on.
Okay.
And so what I said was, let me switch over to my TV because I have the show being casted, and I'll see what happens. And so then we heard the dial, and we heard the pickup. Your mom pick up, and then
Okay.
she was talking to you about I don't know what. Yeah, I put it on mute when that happened.
Oh yeah. No, we were just catching up. She said, her and my dad were chilling, doing some yard work and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Zach Lucero, what'd you do? What else did you do today besides that? The fencing.
Work.
Just work. Oh yeah, you work. Yeah, man, I had to work too. I had to actually go. I actually went to the office today.
Yeah, not us. We're not going to the office at least through May.
Yeah, I probably go. I probably go every other week, once or twice a week. Just to, there's a couple things I have to do at the office, and I can't really do them at home. So, but I heard today. We're just kind of other topics as assigned here. I heard today on the news. Shout out to KU. I think it was KXAN or whatever. Robert Hadlock. They were saying that 2,000 Travis County jobs are going to continue being work at home even after the pandemic is over. I know, Paul, you're used to working at home. That's what you do. Zach,
Mm-hmm.
do you think your job will stay at home, or do you have to go to your office to get things done? Can you do your job at home moving forward?
Yeah, and you have the option of like working from home, but most people just will go to the office. Yeah, but I don't think they'll ever make us work from home. Like,
I mean,
Like require it?
but they'll give you that option though, right?
I think they're gonna extend that option. Like, it used to be you could work from home like 1 or 2 days a week if you wanted.
Right.
I think they're gonna extend that to like 3 or 4.
And is this work from home thing? I mean, this is the answer to our traffic congestion here in Central Texas. I mean, am I right, Paul?
No, I don't. I disagree.
I'm still gonna go to work every day.
Because you're gonna have people just like Zach. I want to go to work because they're either gonna want and those are the pitfalls that a lot of people really don't know about, like working from home.
Mm-hmm.
People they're not used to it. They're not used to the isolation. They may not used to having the members of their family always around while they're working. They're not used to having the absence of their comadre or their bro in the workplace, and they need to have that social interaction. And it's kind of funny that there's a pandemic that kind of restricts that. But listen, man, when this is over in 2 years, if there's not a resurgence of COVID in 2 years, this is all going to be something people laugh about over drinks. And that's the way I feel about it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think so.
Okay, I know. I have a lot of people who tell me that they disagree with that.
But I don't drink.
Well, Zach, you know what? We all have to grow up sometime.
Dang. So I'm immature for not drinking alcohol?
No, you are mature. I'm talking about us.
Dang.
Man, that went right over your head, didn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to peer pressure me like I'm in high school.
So back.
Shame on you, Paul.
So back to me.
So
back to me and my point. So y'all really, I mean, I thought, I don't know, me personally, I really think it's going to, people working at home could help.
Well, Chris,
with the traffic congestion. And I really think that there might be actually rush hour would actually be on the weekends and after, and at night now that people are working from home. Zach, go ahead. What were you going to say?
So, Chris, if they told you that you could work from home from now on, Like
Huh?
if when everything clears back up, if they told you you never had to come into, you can work from home from now on if you wanted, or come into the office, you would just work from home.
I work from home. Yeah. Yeah.
He obviously doesn't know you.
Huh? Say that again, Zach.
You would never go into the office.
No, I mean, I would have to, because there's, there's certain things that I have to do at the office, and yeah, if I can work from home, I can work from home. I will, if I get that option, I'm definitely moving. I'm definitely going to work from home if I can. For sure.
Chris, what are you doing?
Nothing.
You're lying, bro. What are you doing?
People are texting me and stuff. Golly.
Don't
Shut
look
up.
at your phone.
Man, I'm trying to watch the watch party. And then people are texting me. So anyways, I like working from home. I do like going to the office. If I have the option to have an office, just, if somebody needs to meet with me face to face for some reason, I will go in. I mean, everything that I do, I can do from home. I can do over the phone. I can do on email, so there's no reason for people to meet with me. I know when people talk about, some sensitive subjects like payroll and benefits, they feel better talking face to face. And I respect that, and I will do that for people if that's necessary. But I will do that on an appointment basis.
On a need to basis.
Right. And you just make an appointment. I'll say I'm going to be in the office, on Wednesdays, or I'll be on the office Tuesdays and Thursdays between this time and this time, and I'll have these appointments, and we'll have this amount of time to talk about it, and we'll move on. But I mean, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I'm really good at, just kind of getting procedures in place. So a lot of the things that we're doing in our office now is kind of like clockwork. So, I'm ready for another challenge. All right. Anything else, Zach?
That's all I got.
Word up. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 77. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero. Shout out to everybody that was on the watch party tonight. Shout out to Reed. I didn't get to shout him out. Shout out to Nikki. She just got on. Hey, Nikki. And shout out to Snoop. Shout out to Kreitz Market for being our sponsor. Shout out to my mom for calling me, and then I called her back, and she's probably gonna be upset that she's gonna be on the YouTube. Don't put me on Facebook, mijo. I don't like that. Paul, you have anything else before we sign off? No.
I'll save it. I have a really big topic, but I'm going to save it for Saturday.
Save it for Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, any shout outs?
Shout out to me. I'm the best there is. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everyone staying safe.
All right. Paul Rodriguez, shout outs.
Are y'all excited to have a live show in person in the month?
I mean, I'm ready for it now. I mean, y'all are the ones.
June 30th. June 30th. June 30th.
Tienen miedo.
June 13th. I'm sorry, June 13th.
All right.
June 13th. Shout out Chris Sanchez for being the most awesomest person he can be.
Awesome-o.
Because I'm gonna have a list of things to send him after this is over. Zach, you all right, man? I would like to have Zach for a whole show. I wonder what that would be like. What do you think, Chris?
We have Zach on for a whole
show, right? Yeah, that'd be really cool.
June 13th.
Yeah, right. It'll be June 13th at 11 a.m. instead of the start time of 10:30 a.m. Shout out to Snoop Daniel. Shout out to King Kalunga.
Yes.
We got a chance to visit a little bit, so he's on the up and up. So
word up.
He's been talking about he wants to make a contribution. Okay. He's really excited about some football news. So we'll work that in. And
and we got UFC stuff going on, man. We need to get his expertise on that.
But man, most of all, shout out to God because I've been feeling really good lately, and
good.
I'm happy, man. Like I'm in a good place. I'm happy for all of y'all still, being on this Recon athlete train. This recruiting stuff that we have cooking up, we're gonna grow. It's gonna make us grow, Chris and Zach. And so, work is coming. Work is coming. So we're gonna grow, and I'm glad to share it with y'all. And fellas, we're almost to 100. You don't believe it?
I know we got a few more, but we're at episode 77. We'll get to 100 here, and before we know it, we'll have something big. Hopefully we'll be able to be all together like a big familia. All right, I want to shout out to God, shout out to my parents down in Buda, Texas. Shout out to Kreitz Market in Lockhart, America. Shout out to Snoop, like I said, and Focus Fit, San Marcos, and The Social, and everybody that was on the watch party. Really appreciate everybody joining us every Wednesday night at 8 and Saturday morning at 10:30. Paul Rodriguez, do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are enjoying the podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment down below if you think Zach should join us for a whole show. Everybody on YouTube, hit the bell. We'll let you know when we upload. We gone.
For what? Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Court.
Make way for Flaco Jimenez, Mingo Saldívar, Pete Ibarra, David Farias, and David Lee Garza.
Court.